Hey guys, Zach Nold with Nold Family Horsemanship here. Today's topic, we're going to do how to adopt a Mustang 101. So we've had a lot of interest and people calling me, asking me, how do you work with the Bureau of Land Management? How do you adopt a Mustang? A lot of people don't know the process for the Roundups, the adoption. So we're going to go through that. So today we're going to go through working with the BLM, which includes Roundups, adoption, what to look for in a horse, Facebook groups, and how to use them as a resource on top of the Bureau of Land Management's website, why adopt a Mustang briefly, what to think about as far as trainers, videos, who to go with, give you some resources for books to read, maybe some sites, and a basic how to set up your facility. So let's get started. So working with the Bureau of Land Management. It's very important that when you're working with the Bureau of Land Management, who does all the roundups and sanctions all the roundups, that you stay on a good tone with them. Don't come out, don't bash them. They're doing the best they can. They're individuals like you and I who are working hard. This can get very political, and I have my opinion. I don't share that. So when you're working with the Bureau of Land Management, go to their website, do the best you can to find the roundups. They will post roundups. They have email threads they will send out with roundups that are coming up, public voice sessions where you can go and speak your opinion about roundups if you'd like, etc. They invite people out to the roundups. They have watching areas where you can watch the roundups actually happen. Some roundups are helicopter based, where they chase the Mustangs into a corral. Some of them are food and water based because they need the food and water. So they come and they will go into the corral just because they don't have any food or water on the range. So what happens when you want to adopt a Mustang? The horse gets rounded up. So for instance, there's a roundup starting this summer of the Onakwe herd in Utah. That roundup will most likely happen in July. About 30 to 60 days later, after they vaccinate them, deworm or do the healthcare procedures, trim their feet, etc., tag them, sort them into different pens based on sex and age, they will do an open auction adoption event when it's not COVID. When this happens, they'll announce it, people will come to that event, they'll do bidding. If they're less than 11 years old, the Mustangs start their bidding at $125. If they're over 11 years old, they start their bidding at $25. You walk through, you're going to pick out what numbers you want, what tags you like, which Mustangs, color, whatever it is you want to go for. You're going to write it down on a piece of paper. As they walk along the corrals, they'll go, who here wants anything from this corral? People will step forward. If they have the same number, the bidding starts, and they go up in $25 increments until they're bid on. During the year of COVID, they did a lot of these online. Mustangs have become very popular, and the online auctions have skyrocketed their value. I personally would not adopt a Mustang until you can do it in person so you can see how they move, how they look, what their demeanor is, and how they act. That's me personally. After the adoption event, you're going to schedule a time, either that day, to pick up your Mustang and trailer it home, which the BLM has requirements, such as a stock trailer, and they have to approve of your facility, meaning your facility has to meet a certain standard in each state. For the state of Utah, it's 3 sides and a roof. So they have some shelter and 6-foot high panels initially for you to keep them in so they can't jump it. And I've seen Mustangs try to jump 6-foot high panels. Trust me, they can make it if they really want to. So that's a definite necessity. I would also recommend a high tinsel round pen if you can afford it. That way, when you start your training, because it's going to be a little crazy, that you can keep them from hurting themselves, getting away and hurting others. Because if that Mustang gets out, it's going to be very tough to get it back. The next thing up for you to use is Facebook groups. It's actually almost more useful to use Facebook groups than the Bureau of Land Management's page. There's a lot of very good Facebook groups out there that have started to really keep track of and be the information center for Mustang roundups and Mustang adoptions. Some of them are herd specific, so if you have a HMA, which is herd management area, that you specifically want to adopt from, find that Facebook group, follow it, and pay attention to the updates. Some of them are just BLM Mustang or Wild Mustangs, and they do general adoption announcements, etc. for the entire US. Some resources that are really good to use are the Bureau of Land Management, Facebook. I'd go to Instagram. The Mustang Heritage Foundation is the entity that works with the Bureau of Land Management closely to help do the extreme Mustang makeovers, do tip trainer requirements, and get people in general interested in Mustangs. They have a ton of resources to go through. There's documentaries on Netflix, documentaries on Amazon Prime. There's all kinds of books to read. Make sure you're reading them. The more you know, the faster you're going to be able to understand this whole process. Why adopt a Mustang? Well, Titan here, he used to be a wild Mustang. He was wild for 8 years, probably a stallion with his own herd. Now he is a fully rideable arena horse. We haven't taken him on a trail because we're still working through some canter stuff with him. You adopt a Mustang to have that relationship. They may never be that super fast sliding reining horse. They may never jump poles as fast as other horses. But I've seen a lot of Mustangs compete and compete well. And also, you just want the relationship with them. They have more of a trust issue when you first meet them. And so when you earn their trust, they truly give it to you. Whereas a domesticated horse, oftentimes they just will do whatever you want because that's all they know. So the reason you adopt a Mustang is for that relationship, and there's no better feeling than saying, hey, I trained a Mustang from start to end. Can you guys say that? It's a really cool thing to brag about. There's different trainers to watch, different videos I would recommend you input. We'll talk more about that later, but if you're going to adopt a Mustang, start looking up Mustang trainers, start looking up colt starting DVDs, and really get yourself a good groundworking base and understand how to do that groundwork, and then understand that when you go to the saddling, all that groundwork equates to the saddle. We'll talk more about different trainers later and who to look for. Finally, setting up your facility. Make sure that it falls within the Bureau of Land Management requirements, because otherwise they are not going to check that box. And they say they will come out and check out on you from time to time. I know a few people who've had that happen. It hasn't happened to me, but always make sure that you're honest on those forms. Otherwise, they reserve the right to take that Mustang back within the first year if it's under the age of 11. Anyway, from everyone here at An Old Family Horsemanship, make sure you hit subscribe and follow us for the next one. We'll be releasing videos weekly on this. Have a good day.